What's up guys, my name is Ace, and we're back with another COD video. I know I've been doing a lot of X-Defying on the channel lately. That's just because it's brand new, there's a lot of interest in it, and I'm enjoying it a ton. But that doesn't mean I've completely abandoned Call of Duty, and we will be getting back into the flow of things with Season 4 of Modern Warfare 3 starting tomorrow. That also doesn't mean I'm going to stop entirely with X-Defiant content. I'm going to be doing a mix here. But in either case, today, we're talking about Black Ops 6, because we got our live-action trailer for this, which means, of course, there's no gameplay or anything involved here. It's more so just setting the stage as far as the theme goes, and this absolutely officially confirms that Black Ops 6 will be set in the Gulf War era, which has been rumored for ages now. Actually, for a couple years, this has been rumored, and the community's guess at the name of this game was actually Black Ops Gulf War, although that was never an official name. That was just something the community sort of came up with and spread like wildfire. The game is called Black Ops 6. But obviously, like I said, since this is a live-action trailer, we don't get to see any gameplay or anything like that, and that's the stuff that I really care about. I'm not so much into story and everything. But speaking of gameplay, over the weekend, we did get a very short teaser from Noah J, and it appears to be a slight teaser for zombies in this game. And it was just a brief, like, 2-second clip here, and if you take a close look, there are zombies there, and you can also see one character sliding while shooting, so it looks like we will be able to slide and fire at the same time. And that's pretty much all I can really gather from this clip. So that is technically our very first look at gameplay of Black Ops 6. Next, let's talk about something else that was revealed today, and this is the fact that Black Ops 6 is going to be released on the older generation of consoles, so PS4 as well as Xbox One. This was a big question that was up in the air as to whether or not they'd be cutting off support for the previous gen consoles. Since we've already gone well past what we would typically see with a console generation switch, usually they only support like 2 or 3 games and then they drop support for the older gen consoles. That's not going to be the case this time around. And that's not super surprising to me. I honestly thought it could go either way on this, because apparently there's still a very large portion of players that haven't upgraded to the current generation of consoles yet, and they don't want to miss out on that market. And then another big thing with this change in console generation, it wasn't quite as much of a leap as we've seen in previous console generations. And I think that's a big reason that many people haven't made the upgrade yet. So I'm thinking next year is probably going to be much more likely where we're going to be seeing that big migration of players to the new gen consoles, because GTA 6 is launching next year, and I highly doubt GTA 6 is going to be available on previous gen consoles. So I'm guessing Black Ops 6 will be the last year of support for previous gen consoles, but I could even be wrong on that. At the end of the day, when it comes to this topic, I just hope this isn't holding back the game in any way for the current generation of consoles. So for PS5 and Xbox Series X, for instance, it does seem like the modern engine they're using for COD is optimized quite well for old gen as well as new gen consoles. And at least as far as I can tell, it doesn't feel like the old gen consoles are really holding back like the PS5 version of the game, for instance. But I could be wrong on that one. In either case, there's another big topic. Another thing that was confirmed today is the fact that for Xbox and PC players, Black Ops 6 is coming day one to Game Pass. So on all platforms, you do have the option to just buy the game outright like you normally would. But if you are on PC or Xbox, you can instead get a Game Pass subscription where you pay monthly. And if you are paying for that subscription, you'll be able to access the full game of Black Ops 6 right on launch day without having to pay full price for the game. And this is something where apparently this has really been up in the air, and there's been a lot of internal discussion. They weren't sure how they wanted to handle this, because by adding this to Game Pass day one, they're likely going to be missing out on a really big chunk of those initial launch sales. Because now if you're on Xbox, especially if you already have Game Pass, for all of those people that would have been spending $70+ right at launch for the game, now they're not spending any of that money and they're still getting access to the game. But at the same time, this should be boosting their Game Pass subscriptions, at least to some degree. And on top of that, we've all seen the monetization that COD uses now. It monetizes like a free-to-play game anyway, so I'm sure they'll be recouping a lot of that with the increased player base that they'll likely see by adding this to Game Pass. Now, as far as how this will affect the game for players, on one hand, I think this is a really good thing because it's going to make the game more accessible to more people, so we may see more interest in multiplayer. We may see more people dabbling with the game because they've already got a Game Pass subscription. Maybe they don't typically buy a Call of Duty game or they haven't bought one in a while, but since they already have the subscription, they may as well download it and give it a shot. So we may be seeing a bigger player base on PC and Xbox. However, on the other hand, by making the game so much more accessible like this, it may end up making the cheating situation worse for the multiplayer side of things, since there's a lot less to lose if your account gets banned. You don't have to buy the game again at full price if you get banned. Instead, you just create a new Game Pass account, pay for a monthly subscription, which is much cheaper, and you're back in the game cheating. At the end of the day, though, I'm just excited to see how this all plays out. I'm hoping the pros with that definitely outweigh the cons, and we just end up seeing Call of Duty become even more popular because it's more accessible to more people. But time will tell on that one. Next, let's talk about pre-orders a little bit. They also confirmed today that on June 9th, where they're going to have that reveal just after the Xbox showcase, this is where they're going to open up pre-orders for the game. And I feel the need to have this talk every year, so you guys may have already heard this from me in the past, but I'm going to say it again. Well, it's your money, and you should spend your money however you want. I really want to encourage people to consider not pre-ordering the game immediately when it comes out, before we even have like all of the information about what we can expect to see for the game. And the reason for this is quite simple, and I have this stance when it comes to any game out there. When you pre-order a game right away before having all the information and seeing exactly what you're getting for your money, you're sending an unearned signal to the publisher that you'll gladly throw money at anything that they put the Call of Duty name on. Quality doesn't matter, content offering doesn't matter. If it says Call of Duty, you'll give them your money. And realistically, there's typically no good reason to pre-order the game immediately, especially when you haven't seen the entire package yet. So even if you know you're definitely going to be buying Black Ops 6 and playing the next Call of Duty, it's not going to hurt to hold off on pre-ordering the game a little bit. It's not like they're going to run out of copies or anything. And for me, I always encourage people to hold off on pre-orders until there's some real value involved. So for some people, that means pre-ordering so you can get early access to the beta. That's real value. You get extra gameplay time in the beta version of the game, and many people enjoy that. Or another really good time to pre-order is going to be just a few days before the game launches so that you can pre-download the game and it's all set up and ready to go. That's typically when I pre-order the game, is just a few days before launch. But again, like I said, it is your money. You spend it how you want. I'd just like you to at least consider those things. And with that, there's one last thing I wanted to point out today, and this is something that appeared to be a mistake on the Call of Duty channel. Initially, they actually had the wrong thumbnail for this live action trailer, and instead they had the thumbnail for the reveal trailer, which shows off Wrestle Adler from Black Ops Cold War. So it looks like Adler will definitely be in Black Ops 6, and this also seems to confirm the fact that this is a continuation of that storyline. It's not like a brand new story in a different universe or anything, which I mean shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but just wanted to show off that Adler will be a part of this game. And then when it comes to that reveal, which like I said is going to be taking place on June 9th after the Xbox showcase, I'm very curious to see what we end up getting out of this. My guess is it's just going to be a campaign, likely a campaign mission walkthrough or something like they often do with the initial reveals. I doubt we're going to be seeing much in the way of multiplayer. Maybe they'll do like a teaser of some sort for some multiplayer features, but my guess is it's going to be primarily focused on the campaign. And with that, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Just a collection of a bunch of little things that we learned today, and some of the things that we can expect going forward with Black Ops 6. And this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about things so far? Like, how do you feel about the fact that this game is confirmed to be set in the Gulf War era? Do you think that's going to be a good era to play in? Also, how are you feeling about the fact that the game's launching on previous gen consoles, on Game Pass day one? Do you think that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for the game? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.